All right. Happy New Year, folks. Hopefully, a good year for everybody to improve their game. We're gonna play Rapid, Rapid, and Rapid only for now. We'll see. Rapid and explain the moves. We have E4. This guy is probably 2008. Wow, that's cool. Let's play a Sicilian. I mean, I haven't played this in a while, of course. Maybe there's a recent game that I played. One of the recent game that I played here, and I posted on YouTube. So that's relates to that. So I played the French variation here. Knight takes. I'm trying to remember the line. Is it knight c6? Bishop e3 is possible. Yeah, that could happen. He could still take. Bishop b4, we are hitting this pawn. Maybe it's bishop d3, supposedly castles. He may actually castle himself or play queen d2 with the idea of castling long. He plays knight e2. This move doesn't really ring a bell for me. Maybe it's just d5. I don't know if I like this move because d5 is right away going for the center. You always want to play toward the center, right? And he took. So you can still take with a pawn. You can still take with the knight. I think take with the knight, it does have its merits. Obviously you're looking at knight takes here, bishop pair, right? You want to get the bishop pair in an open position because it gives you diagonals, right? You want to control this diagonal, the light squares, the dark squares. Pawn takes is also interesting because the idea maybe you could go to knight g4 to go for this one, maybe d4. Supposedly he might take, if queen takes, his bishop takes here. There's a tactic. May just stick with the knight. Not entirely sure which one is best. I mean, he's likely to do this anyway. We take, maybe it's pawn takes or bishop takes. We might take back, knight takes. I wonder if I'm helping him somehow. Maybe knight e5, bishop e2. Here, queen b6. Maybe it's knight, bishop e2, queen b6, gaining some tempos. So maybe queen b6, because he cannot really castle now. It's like queen takes b2. Knight e4 is probably queen c6. You attack the knight in here. He castled, and I'm not sure exactly why he's doing this, because I may have here. Is he looking for queen d4? Defending the knight in here. I don't know if it's enough. Knight c6. This feels like it's a free pawn to me. I mean, he doesn't have rook b1 because the knight is hanging. The problem is you take and this knight is hanging, so you have to defend. So he plays here, and I think, you always want to gain tempo. So knight g6 is a playable move. Knight c6 is much more attractive because it does attack the queen, right? So he has to move the queen. He moved the queen here. I actually felt like he could play queen c4. And if knight e5 may still like repeat. The real issue with this move is rook d8, so additional tempo, right? And the problem is if he goes here, you may just lose another pawn, or maybe it's even knight d4. Actually, knight d4 may be met by rook d1. Cannot take here this potential mate. So rook d8, we're still attacking the queen at tempo. You could still play this, supposedly. So you want to be careful not doing this. This is bishop takes, queen takes d8. That would be like an exchange. So this move is okay, though. Supposedly, he wants to do this. He's trying to get to, back in the game somehow. Get some activity for the pawn. So obviously I always tell people this. You're winning something, you may have to do a little bit of defense. You're winning a pawn, you may have to do a little bit of defense, because obviously your opponent may just do like a sacrifice. He just lose something that he started paying attention. So a little bit of, like defense. So maybe like, like here, a6, so the knight doesn't really jump. And potentially here you just, you slowly defending. Sometimes all it takes is a little bit of defense, nothing else. I mean, sometimes it's just the defense, like couple move defending, maybe like 4 moves, 5 moves, and then your pawn becomes clear, assuming you're winning more than a pawn, right? I mean, what if you're winning a piece? If you're winning a pawn, it becomes clear that the pawn is like these things are fading away. That's what I call it. Like things are fading away. Your opponent is doing this like he's attacking the queen. And then next couple moves, things might just be like so he's attacking the queen. So if he plays here, maybe knight e4. Maybe he's queen here, so I give him a free tempo. Maybe it's just simply like here. There's also knight d4 could come in. The real thing is bishop d7 is met by rook takes, so that's one way to take back the pawn. So I have to be careful exactly what is going on here. He's playing here. Supposedly, if the knight goes away, he may still take on h7. It's a good question what to do. This b5 is playable. And again, get the bishop to b7 is maybe for ideas. Maybe I could still push. Knight e4, bishop b7. So I'm trying to connect these two rooks together without having an issue, without dealing with this concern plan. Maybe just here. So the idea is bishop b7. So he could do bishop e4 if he wants. I mean, he might be attacking the knight, but we just go here. We attack everything at this point. So maybe it's here and then some kind of knight e5. He doesn't have this move anymore because we could take, supposedly. Maybe this, yeah, this is actually works for black. The real thing is maybe he could play z4, try to weaken up this side of the board, but I think we just simply play b4. So he plays queen f4. He's probably doing this. Again, he's trying to put up all the tactics he could find. Like, if I'm not really careful, let's say I played like a random move, like, I don't know which random move would it be here, but he's trying to go for queen e4. So the point of queen e4 is attack the knight, attack here. So you defend the knight, maybe, then you get hit by that one. And if you're not really careful, you get mated. So the king cannot go to e7. So you have to keep, that's what I mean by a little bit of defense, right? You do sometimes have to keep up with the defense to see exactly what he's trying to do, move by move. So I may have to do this first to protect the knight. So when he plays here, I may have to defend this way. I don't have to worry about the knight being attacked. So he plays e4. This specific order is kind of interesting, though. So maybe he's just b4. Because now if he's attacking it, it's going to be a free pawn. Just b4. I'm not real. Maybe I'm also attacking here. I mean, maybe this is... It is. It is attackable. Because the queen is defending the bishop. So I can still easily take the free piece. So he plays here. Now the real question is, could I start getting active? Could I start getting a little bit like knight d4 now? The idea is I'm attacking his rook. Maybe consider a little bit of exchange, like exchanging pieces maybe. So maybe it's time for this one, attacking the rook. Maybe some kind of ideas like here in bishop takes. There are some tricks maybe. So I guess he has to play here, precisely there. He has to defend this. And this may be loose. Yeah, so this may be loose in some lines. If I were to take here, is queen takes. If he takes with the bishop, is knight e2. The queen is hanging. He has to move, and then you grab that. But I cannot force it. I'm trying to find a way to force it. Maybe I could still play e5, queen here. Maybe it's e5 first. I don't think he's going to make the mistake here. He's not going to play here. He's going to play precisely... Where does he go? He goes here. He has to go here. So he meets bishop takes with queen takes. If you go here, he's losing because you just take a free piece. So the small details matter where he's going. And I know why he's thinking, because he has to play maybe here or here. So the two moves are really like, it's equivalent to like defending on e4. He plays queen e3, so he sees the idea. So this is still playable. Maybe I just play active. So rooks belongs to the open file. So maybe just simply go for this one. So now I'm putting up the tricks on him. Like he started attacking. Now it's like he's putting a defense, he's on the defense side now. So I'm up a pawn. So all I have to do is like, put my pieces in good squares. Maybe now the time is to do a little bit of an attack. Maybe exchange pieces. I'm still up a pawn. So when you're up a pawn, you trade everything. Maybe this pawn becomes a queen. That's one way to think about it. So let's see here. Hold on a second. Everything still looks good. All right, so here This move is attacking here, so he's still trying to attack as much as possible. So if I play h6, this doesn't really do much. Knight h7, I don't see the point. Maybe he's just attacking it. Does he has anything here? Like knight here, which we will be stuck on h7. I don't understand this move though. He's just trying to attack, nothing else. Like he's trying to find moves that he could attack a pawn, figure out some kind of attack. Once you do a little bit of defense, so he lost a big tempo here. See, he was already on e4, he's just lost the tempo. So now it's my move again. So now the real question is, should I take here? This is gonna be a free pawn. Supposedly take is good. Takes, takes, takes. You have to do the math or do a calculation here. I'm not sure if it's a math. So takes, takes. He cannot take here. This queen d1. So maybe I could still take. So takes, takes. May as well pre-move it. So he could take here. And if he takes here, I was looking at mate. So I'm looking deep enough that even this pawn is protected. So now it looks like it's two pawns. You know, not just one pawn. And this b pawn, it becomes a pass pawn. So that's another issue. So now it's all about trading. So now that he cannot take this one, again, taking here would lead to queen d1. He has to block, that's checkmate. So now he wants to take it. He's basically saying, well, I could take it if queen d1 is king h2. He's basically saying I can still defend. Supposedly, he wants to play here. This move is... maybe it's queen d4. So this is another trick, queen d4. If he takes, this is not under attack because the knight is under here attack. So maybe it's queen d4, try to force an exchange. If he takes, the knight is hanging. So the knight is hanging. So again, that's a trouble move for him because he's not finding a way to attack. He probably wants to move the queen away, but this is hanging the knight. This is very like educational stuff that, you know, how move by move I'm creating some issues for white. You know, I started defending after taking the pawn, and then now I'm attacking. So I take, cannot take here. Again, this is knight is under attack. So if he plays f3, maybe it's time to exchange. This is two pass pawn. Now, remember, it was one. He has this move, which is interesting. Maybe I could still win. There's another trick here. Maybe here. And here, maybe I could sack my bishop. The idea is pawn push here, d2. And if he goes here, it's here. So the pawn promotes. I think it works. I mean, was that too many thinking? This feels like a tactic. So you could sacrifice a piece if you know for sure that the pawn will promote. So that's another problem for him. Like he's trying to do whatever he can to stop. So I can still play here. I think the problem here is rook c1. So it's the same issue. If I play d2, he takes. Supposedly, if he takes, it's the same here. So here it's rook c1. The idea is I'm promoting in one move. So this should be winning. So here, so the idea is very simple. If he takes, it's a queen. If he takes on d2, it's a rook takes. He may take here, but this is going to be like an exchange, right? So that's going to be an exchange. Knight takes b7. Then here, this is winning because now I could take the pawn. That's still two, you know, still pass pawn to b4. He move here to defend f2. Then here, if he takes here, it's just simply this. This is winning. He cannot really take on e6, b2. Maybe here, if he plays king c2, it's rook c1. Takes on b2, the knight is hanging. So that actually loses the knight. So he's probably going to resign here, supposedly. May as well pre-move it. Very good game, though. Very good game. Move by move, you could see the pressure that was happening. Like, he was never given a break. And that's what you should be doing. Like, you have to be a troublemaker when it comes to a chess game, right? He had no comeback, right? He was... So sometimes when people don't have a good ideas of what tactics, you know, what could I do after I win a pawn, right? So here it looks like, you know, black position was pretty good. You know, maybe he had the castle. Like maybe this is, you know, maybe he could, you know, allowing knight takes here. This may allow the pawn to become weakness. Like maybe he could queen takes. So let's say he castles here, queen takes, pawn takes, rook d8. So you attack the pawn at d3, but maybe he could hold. Maybe he could hold this position. He played bishop e2, trying to go for this, like queen takes, rook d1. And I think here he had to defend the pawn. So let's say queen c1 or something. Maybe that move is okay, rook b1. And then If rook d8, maybe he was concerned about rook d8, so maybe it's queen c1, because rook b1 maybe is met by like a tempo, like you attack the queen. Maybe it's queen c1, so that he gets out of the d file. He's defending b2, and that way, he still plays on, right? So after queen c1, maybe he castles. He's not losing a pawn, but what he did, he's just lost the pawn at b2. I don't think there's enough counterplay. Sometimes you could sacrifice a pawn for activity, but he did not get this activity that he's looking for. And he may have to do like queen d2 here. So queen d2, maybe it's better, and instead of, but it may not matter because, obviously I'm going to play the same setup, like, eventually going to play the same setup. He played here to attack the knight. If your tactics are not that great, you might be hanging the knight. Let's say you play like, bishop d7, try to develop your pieces, lest you forget that this is hanging. So you always want to do a little bit of defense. So when you do a defense, you want to deploy what we call, you want to gain initiative, gain tempos, right? So now the initiative and the tempos are evolving around. The knight was sitting on e5. You're telling him, no. It's I'm going back to c6, even though I was already on c6. But you play this move with the idea as you attack the queen. So the queen that has to move it in a certain way, because if you get carried away here, like if he wants to place his queen in a better square, let's say queen g4, I don't understand what exactly this move does, but the knight is hanging, right? So the queen has to, maybe it's queen e3. Maybe that move would be more, but then the pawn at c2 is hanging. So the small details you want to keep attacking. So after knight c6, he went back here, and the reason he went back here is defending c2 on c3. Because he could defend on here. Maybe I was talking about queen c4, but, c2 maybe is hanging. So it's like 2 pawns down, not just one, right? And once I take here, maybe I start doing a little bit of defense. Maybe I just have to go back somehow and just do a little bit of defense, maybe queen f5. But once I played here, you could see I'm putting up the pressure, rook d8, another, developing piece, or I make a move that attack the queen. So the queen moved like a couple times. You don't want to do this in a chess game. Like you move your same pieces like a couple times, especially when you're being attacked. So rook d8 is probably the best precise move here. And he played bishop d3 though, because if he goes here, it's the same concept where I could take on c2. So he had to do like bishop d3 to defend c2 and also avoid the queen from being taken. But that's not, and here I had to do a little bit of defense, because maybe I would have considered this, but actually, that would be not really good, because here it's just bishop takes. Here, the queen, the rook is hanging. So, long story short, you always want to be, when you take something, you may do a little bit of defense, but there are some exceptions where even maybe you have an attacking game. So maybe even if you take a pawn or a piece, you still have like the king is, your opponent's king is exposed. So maybe you still have an attack. But most of the time, I would say most of the time, when you win something, your opponent start paying attention. He's trying to come back to the game. You should probably disallow your opponent to come back to the game. That's the point. Once you win something. Now, if you're not winning anything, that's a different ball game. Like you're playing an equal game. This was not equal. I mean, this is not equal after I take on b2. It's no longer becoming an equal. It's now white is defending. So white would be like, next couple moves start attacking to basically say, well, you took on b2, but I will still have some activity and some threats that I could create. But you could see move by move, all I was doing is a little bit of defense. And then once I started to develop my pieces, then I started to strike, and then you could see now, he made things a lot worse with knight g5 though. I don't see what he could do, because simply I'm attacking now. You can see that c2 is weak. b2, a6 are good pawns. a4 is also weak. Potentially there was an idea around here, like if he goes here, so for example here, this is actually what I was talking about, you lose a queen. So he has to precisely go here, or even queen d2. Maybe he had to do queen d2 like attack before with the way he's playing. Maybe that's one way, but it's not enough. I mean, all I could do is like e5 if I want to, and then go here. So it's all like weaknesses all across. Weaknesses all across for white that lead to winning the game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. This is only the beginning in 2026. This is probably the second video. More videos to come, so stay tuned. This is educational stuff. You're gonna learn from that. You know, whether you are a beginner, you're a little bit of advanced player, you still could learn because there are some positional ideas here, some tactical ideas, move by move explanation. You should be learning from this. I don't know if you're not learning from this, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it should be a learning experience. I'm doing this to help people. I mean, I don't really have to do any of this, right? But I'm doing it for educational purposes. So hopefully, you guys could like it and stay tuned for the next videos. Again, happy new year and maybe more goals, better goals to achieve this year. So I'll see you by the next video, folks. Stay tuned.